Okay.
Very good. Pledge and
Yep.
everything. Let's all stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to everyone that's here for our election board meeting. First thing we want to talk about, we need to deal with the polling locations. This is something we have to do every year, determine our locations, determine the number of machines at each location. Did you want to read that IC code or just?
Yep.
Want me to read?
Nope, I got it right here.
Okay, good.
Per IC 311 or 3-11-8-3.2, a county election board shall give notice of the place of voting in each precinct by publication in the manner prescribed by IC code 5-3-1. We don't need to make any changes. All the polling locations are
The
good.
polling locations are the same.
And ADA all compliant. I just need your guys' signature there and I'll get that turned in.
Here.
Oh, got one down here, I just gotta figure it out.
Do we need to read these?
It wouldn't hurt to
Oh,
read
yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, especially since it's live stream now and people they don't know that.
Right.
Okay.
Can read 'em.
Counton is the Counton Library. Tell City 1, 2, and 3 is the Tell City Depot. Tell City 4 and 8 is Shergan Center. Tell City 5, 6, and 7 is the High Rise Twilight Towers. Town of Troy is the Firehouse. Troy Township 1 is Country Club. Troy Township 2 is 4-H Fairgrounds. Anderson is at Deer Creek Baptist Church. Clark is Bristol Community Center. Derby, Roanoke, All, and Leopold is the County Highway Garage. And Tobin is Eagle Bluff.
Okay, and Rachel, you will make sure that gets in the newspaper. Yes, ma'am. And on Facebook. All right. All right, we need to determine how many machines at each location. Mary Kay, I think you had.
Yeah, we had at 1, 2, and 3, we have 5. 4 and 8 has 5. 5, 6, and 7 has 5. Highway Garage has 5. Counton 1 and, it's just Counton now.
Yep.
They get 3. Tobin has 2. Troy has 2, and Clark has 3.
What about Anderson, Troy Township?
Anderson,
5, 4.
we got them for 4 in 2020, but don't you think we need to up them for 5?
Okay.
5
We have several extra. We have one extra for every location if we need to.
Okay. And Troy Township 1 is 5, and Troy Township 2 is 3. And I think that covers
County
it.
Garage.
I'd
Did
say
you
5. Yeah,
All right.
they get 5.
Okay,
So I'm just making sure I got it correctly. Anderson 5, Hamilton 3, Clark 3, Highway Garage 5, Tell City 1, 2, 3, 5, 4 and 8, 5, 5, 6, 7, 5, Tobin 2, Troy 2, Troy Township 1, 5, and Troy Township 2, 3.
I think that's what you call it. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right, here you go. She's got a copy.
Yeah, that's for you.
This is-
That's for me.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right.
All right, one thing we wanted to do with this is an update on the books for, changes in these books for training. One thing is, and Rachel's gonna also check on this, because the training on the machines, as far as setting up, plugging the machines in and all, Microvote puts this out, but they need to change because this is the old cases. So they're gonna have to change, and so on this one that says a Monday setup, that needs to be eliminated because they don't set up on Monday and we don't open those machines on Monday. Alright,
And that's to each county discretion too, so, but, yeah.
okay, alright, election morning on this, I guess page number 2 on there. That, it talks about putting the extenders on those cases so that they're handicap accessible.
We don't have that.
The new cases are, everything is handicap accessible, so we don't need those instructions. You put it in there, it's gonna confuse some people, cause they're like, well, I'm looking for these.
I got rid of them at the primary election because we had already had all those new cases, so I just went in and got rid of all the extenders. Well, they're back there in a box, but we don't need them anymore. They should be sending out
all right.
new.
And this here, I'll give you a copy of this so you can check it out. On this number 4 where it says to plug the printer into the back of the voting machine, that's got to be changed because now they plug into the case itself, not into the, okay.
Their setup guide should actually be a lot smaller, it's gonna be a lot easier now.
I hope. And when it's on the election day, how to activate the machine, it says select the appropriate precinct if necessary. I think we need to use to add the words, using the e-poll pad printout. It's not just, they walk up and say, it's that. We need to add, and this was paperwork that you printed out. This was instructions for judges, right? They're in the very first one. I'm sorry, I don't have a whole lot of copies of this. I got two, where it says to put, verify the seal numbers on the machines and put in the small manila envelope. I wonder if we need to add the word, put the seal into the manila envelope so they know what they're adding.
Yeah, probably not a bad idea.
I know some people. And again, it's plug the VVPAT into the Infinity voting machine. They don't do that. They don't plug in, unplug anything now. You have one plug. I wonder if on this we need to say you pull the plug through the back.
Yeah, through the star shape.
And something we learned when we were putting up machines is when you're putting the machines away, if you forget to pull that cord in, you don't have to open that machine again because it's on a retractable thing in there. Just pull it and let it go in. It'll go in on its own. Yes, so you don't have to, if you seal the machine, forgot to put the cord in there,
No big deal.
just let it go, just push it in that hole there at the very end and it'll be good. Again, strike the words, make one machine handicap. All right, on the back of instructions for judges, inform the voter that the straight party vote does not cast a vote for, and the words were commissioner, school board, or judges. I think we need to, because of the handbook on page 36 where it says that it is at large. I think. Oh, no, the handbook. I got you, yeah, it is, it's the handbook, page 36.
That's right in the end of it.
All right. The administrative manual, page 118. It deals with any office that is at large.
Yeah.
Let me go to page 118 instead of 218.
Actually, it starts on 117.
All right, on page 118, where it makes the statement.
Let me just read how about because there's 1, 2, 3, 4,
Well,
5 that are in bold. How about I just read all those?
okay, if you want to, but what I'm talking about here, we need to add the words that it's for an at-large office, not just commissioners. It's any at-large office.
Yeah.
They have to, straight party will not, and if you wanna go ahead and read those others, that would be fine.
Okay, let's see. You are not required to vote a straight party ticket. If you do not wish to vote a straight party ticket, do not make a mark in this section and proceed to vote the ballot led by office. To vote a straight party ticket, candidates on this, okay, it wanted me to insert political party name, so I'm just gonna take one. So say to vote a straight Republican ticket for all Republican candidates on this ballot, except for candidates described, make a voting mark on or in the circle and do not make any other marks on the ballot. Then to vote for any candidate for an at-large office, county council, city common council, town council, or township board, if those offices appear on this ballot, you must make another voting mark for each candidate you wish to vote for. Your straight party vote will not count as a vote for any candidate for that office. If you wish to vote for a candidate seeking a nonpartisan office, like school board, or on a public question, you must make another voting mark on the appropriate place on this ballot. And then if you do not wish to vote a straight party ticket, press next or replace next with a term used to continue, just hit next to continue voting. Okay. A lot of people have questions about that straight party stuff anyway, so hopefully that, if they're listening, that clears it up.
So if somebody votes straight party, understand instead of the word commissioner, because at one particular election, it might be the commissioners, but the law says it's for any at-large office. That if you vote straight party, it does not cast a vote for them. All right, and on the checklist for return, maybe insert the words, put all that material into the blue bag.
The blue bag,
The
yeah.
blue bag. You've got the green folder there, but they need to understand, let's just have those, that it goes into the blue bag. That's the sealed bag for return. With microvotes instructions, are we still doing our own for?
Yeah, because I redid that,
Okay,
before the primary election this year. I redid all that because the old instructions for check-in and before the polls open
I
and everything.
remember there was one thing on there I saw said we still need to change. This is the old one.
That might be the old.
I think it was the printer plugging it into the case, not into that.
Well, and it was to be very careful with the printer whenever they plug it in, that they're not, because it's microvote told us you can break it very easily and it's not a cheap fix.
All right.
That is something.
The other thing is.
But we expressed that in training.
In training, also it wouldn't hurt to put on there, unplug the printer. When you put it away, don't leave it plugged in, because that was also something that would damage and cause a problem.
Okay. So.
And can we even put the words somewhere on there that if you lock it up, don't undo it, just put the cord, just let the cord.
Yeah, I can add that for sure.
Okay. So I think that will, all right. We had general rules for watchers.
Hang on, before we move on to that.
Okay.
For the training, I know we talked about it before, but it is expensive. Do you want microvotes to come in and do the training?
No, because they come in, we've had them before, and when we first got the machines, they come in and talk about setting up the machine and all that. They don't go through.
They don't know everything else.
No, they don't go through what we do.
I wanted to ask, but I really don't think it's not for the money, because when we still have to do a big portion of it.
Yeah, no, all they do is come in and go through the process of setting the machine.
I mean,
up.
it's not, I didn't have it budgeted anyways this year, so I
Yeah.
don't think it would have happened
When
this
we
year
first,
anyways.
when we first got the machines, we had them come in,
Mhm.
and then we did away with them coming in, because I think they charge like, well, I don't know what it is now, no telling. I think it was over $1,000 when they first came in. But yes, no, we'll do it,
Yeah.
because, they'll just go through the thing with the machines, and the workers need more than that.
Oh,
And then some,
And you want me to still continue making them folders?
yes.
You had the rules for poll watchers. We do need to add to that the ruling that a poll watcher does not go running to everybody. 3686 on, let me see. Nope, that's wrong. Okay, all right, yeah. A poll watcher appointed under this chapter shall report any violation to the election laws that comes to the watcher's attention to the inspector of the precinct, the county election board, or prosecuting attorney. A watcher may not object to any other precinct officer concerning an alleged violation of election laws unless the watcher has the prior permission of the inspector. And we need to put here that these watchers, they're not running to everybody else. They're not calling friends, family. They're not calling Indianapolis. They're not calling county chairs and everybody else. There is a guideline who watchers call. And this idea of calling everybody, every friend, Tom, Dick, and Harry out there and causing a bunch of trouble needs to stop. They're not to be talkers.
And not to be hovering over I heard of a couple that were hovering over at one of the locations. I just heard this yesterday. Whenever they got there, they were hovering over the clerk's table and where the judges were getting the machines ready, asking what was going on and all that, so.
No, they're
I
not
didn't get a
to
chance
be.
to tell you that yet.
Well, it says right there, the watchers not
Yeah.
to disrupt election procedures or interfere with the election officials or voters. The watchers there to watch, not meddle.
Stay out of the way of the workers and the polls.
So we do need to add that to these instructions. So, is there anything else we need to work on, change? As far as our information?
Let's see. Okay, so on page 220 and 222 in our blue book. Now I'm just gonna read it here too. So I clear everything. Let's see, where it says they can, on page 221, where a party watcher has clearly defined responsibilities, they're entitled to do the following. I'm just gonna pick on two of them here just because this was like the main concern here recently. They can enter, and this is where things kind of got misstrued a little bit. They can enter the polling place 30 minutes before the polls open, and they can leave if they want and also come back if they want. It does not say that in here, but that whenever I called up to the co-directors, that's basically what that one is saying. You know, they say enter the polling place 30 minutes before it opens and remain there until after the votes have been tabulated. Okay, so I read that. That tells me they get there, they stay, they don't leave until the end. Okay, common misconception. Move down to number 4, then it says enter, leave, and re-enter the polls at any time on election day. Well, that completely contradicts number 1. So basically what I get out of that is what I just read. They can enter the polling place 30 minutes before the polls open. They can leave if they want. They can come back if they want. and they can remain at the polls. If they want to get there at 5:30, they can remain there till after the votes have been tabulated. Once a voter another thing I found reading this, once a voter has signed the poll list, they cannot be challenged. A challenger must challenge a voter before they sign the poll list at the clerk's table with the poll clerks. Another thing that was brought up, that the county chairman may appoint, not assign, political party watchers. I guess that was kind of an issue because we used the wrong word. Well, I looked up in dictionary.com for states that another word for assign is appoint, to appoint as to a post or duty. I don't feel like we need to get that technical with words. It means the same thing. Let's see. The manual here continues to include a list of entitlements for political poll watchers as guaranteed by Indiana Code IC 3-6-8-4. Among that list is number 4, which is one I just read. Keyword is poll, or enter, leave, and re-enter the polls at any time on election day. Well, the keyword is polls, as in plural, is what I was informed. But that, or we said, what'd you say that day? Poll,
I may have used poll instead of the word polls.
Yes. But as in plural, indicating all of the polls. Per IC 1-1-4-1 under rules, the construction of all statutes of this state shall be by the following rules, unless the construction is plainly repugnant to the intent of the legislature or the context of the statute. Words and phrases shall be taken in their plain or ordinary and usual sense. Technical words and phrases having a peculiar and appropriate meaning in law shall be understood according to their technical import. Words importing the singular number only may be also applied to the plural of persons and things. So in other words, on page 90, IC code 3-5-2-39 under polls, plural, means the room, singular, and a structure, singular, where the voters of a precinct vote by casting ballots on election day. I feel that we've been kind of chastised a little bit for technical things that IC codes. So I just wanted to make that clarification. Sure. Yes, 3-5-2-39. Yes, I read the entirety. So I think that clears up all the misconceptions about poll watchers.
Hopefully. Well, in my opinion, I wish they would get this straight.
I wish they would. I mean, honestly, and I expressed my concerns with one of the co-directors when I was talking to her. This has got to change because we're not the only ones that made a misconception because of that. So it happens. We're human. We make mistakes.
One thing we cannot have is people running in and out of those polls and disrupting the voters, plus chaos for the workers in there. You can't have that.
Yeah, I understand it. Fine, do it. Be a poll watcher. We don't care. Do it respectfully.
Yeah,
that's all we ask.
Exactly. The watcher that goes in has got rules also. I mean, yes, go in and watch. And certain people, if you see something that you report to, other than that, you're not on the phone calling an attorney or the county chair or something. You don't do that. So you've got rules too. So follow them.
We'll have a peaceful election day.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're not there for chaos.
We have gotten a new, this is new for November 2024. It's an adjustment to the definition of shoot. Not only does it now apply to election day and early absentee voting locations, it also changed from the 50-foot line from the entrance of the room where voting occurs to a 50-foot radius from the entrance. Now, this is where we're gonna consider, and we're getting dimensions. I think Rachel has those on each polling place.
Oh, I don't
That
have it yet.
means,
No,
oh, she
we're
didn't?
going in.
No,
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
that's when I mentioned that we go out to all the. polling.
Okay, we'll
And
be going out.
physically, Mindy has a 100-foot soft,
Okay.
tape measure that she said we can take with us, so we can. And then I wanna draw diagrams and have those made up. I don't know, maybe I could talk to the surveyor, see if he can maybe draw something up. I don't know, if that could be a possibility,
You
and
know,
I could give that to each inspector.
I was thinking about this. When we go out to the polls, we'll take that tape with us. And we'll take, I don't know, spray.
Well, some,
We'll do something.
Spray or maybe chalk.
Yeah,
If
we'll
it's
do
not
something.
raining.
We'll do something.
I did talk to another
Mark it.
clerk and he suggested that. He's always my go-to person. He suggested that when we go out and we make the lines, just verify with the polling location first to make sure it's okay we do it. Then he said that that's what they do. He measures it out, spray paints that line, takes the picture, and then blows that up and puts that in the inspector folders. So if every location would be okay with that, that would be perfect. Then I'll have to get with the surveyor. But
yeah.
I mean, they'll still have their 50-foot ropes in there, but I keep that in there because they are measured out to 50 feet.
Well, yeah, you have to have the shoot.
Yeah, but this way, it's gotta be 100, so maybe I need to throw a 100-foot tape measure in there too. It's just constantly something I've got to purchase, but.
Well, if we can mark them, I wouldn't think they'd have to have a tape measure.
Yeah.
But we need something.
Yeah.
We need to figure out something. Because
Okay.
if it's grassy, it wouldn't hurt. We could
Right.
use the spray paint.
Yeah.
But if it's not, I don't think they want.
Unless it's raining, we could use chalk.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the clock that's giving y'all trouble.
Oh, is it?
Is that the one there?
Yeah, thank you.
3-5-2-10, it defines the chute. The chute means the area or pathway that extends 50 feet in length, measured from the entrance of the polls. If the polling place is less than 50 feet from the door or entrance of the polling place, the chute is measured from the exterior door or entrance to the polling place to 1/2 of the distance to the property line of the polling place nearest to the entrance of the polls. Whenever there are 2 or more doors or entrances to the polls, the inspector of the precinct shall designate one door or entrance as the door for voters to enter for the purpose of voting. They included a diagram here showing now it's not just avoid the chute, but you have a 50-foot parameter completely, a radius. And something we even talked about and we will be investigating. In some places they have back doors. And people have used back doors. We're gonna measure if it's 50 feet, you're not using the back door. Because it's within 50 feet. We'll check some of these buildings and see. So this is 50-foot radius. Now what it said there was if the property line is less than 50 feet. I know at Troy, where we are at the fire station, there's nowhere near that 50 feet. So half of that distance then becomes, so we will have to measure what that distance is and mark what is the halfway line. That means candidates, you stay out of the radius. Not just out of the chute, you stay out of the radius where there's not politics, not candidates, there's not electioneering, none of this stuff is going to be within that 50 feet or half of that property line. And those will be measured, we'll be marking them off because this is the new law and this is going to be in effect in November. It says counties may want to consider how best to mark the chute area to ensure individuals do not electioneer inside it. No one can electioneer inside the room where voting occurs. And they do give an illustration here. This is in the latest dispatch from the state, election division dispatch, which is the August 24 dispatch. Are there any other questions on the chutes?
Not that I finally understand it.
Doesn't this new ruling override what that means?
Yeah,
About the half,
I mean, it kind of goes together.
Well,
but-
yeah, that would be something we would need to check, because I know that, and
Yeah.
somebody measured at the depot and it was 24 feet. That means they are gonna have to be across the street to be,
But
so
I think this would override what that is.
Right,
because
we
they
will-
changed that.
we will definitely check with Indiana Election Board
Well-
and make sure that's not. But override.
And I should, because obviously we don't have a, election conference in December this year, because next year's not election year. I should get a little,
Not supposed to be.
get a little, what do you call it? Usually in a non-election year when they have updates, I think,
update.
yeah,
Yes,
I'll get
yes,
a little
they should.
booklet that,
yeah.
booklet that you
They
can put
should
forward.
send
So-
They
that,
should
yeah.
send it to us, what they call a supplement.
You supplement, thank you, that was the
Supplement.
word.
That's what they send us to add to. So, and some of these are new rules, laws, things that have just come out of the legislative session this, summer.
Oh, something I wanna say too, I didn't put it on here, but, people are gonna start asking soon for the, like, the candidate list or whatever. Our judge is not on there yet, and she won't be until they certify the results, and that's gonna come, looks like the list should be in good shape around August 12th. So,
I thought I read someplace where
That was
August
yesterday.
17th or something.
it's not on there. Shoot, I don't remember the date.
I've got.
It was end of August or first part of September, I for sure should have it.
August 17th, I was thinking.
Okay, so if anybody asks you,
Yeah.
the judge is not on there
We
for
had
that
people,
reason.
we had people come and want to know if we had any sample ballots. I said, no, not
for a while.
yet.
That, and if they ask that, just have them, they can come get a summary candidate list. For me, it's a couple pages, I can print it for them.
So we won't have a candidate list until probably 1st of September.
I thought it was on this paper, but, the Indiana Election Division, they'll have their work completed, and that should be done by yesterday's date. But I remember reading somewhere yesterday,
When will we be here?
yeah, that's where I read it, yeah, but it doesn't have, I saw another day.
Right, the recount met August 7th, so it makes its final determination. The list should be in good shape around August 12th,
Which was yesterday.
so hopefully,
Yeah, hopefully I saw somewhere, it might have been just in an email, end of, oh, here it is. I knew I saw it. September 12th, deadline for Indiana Election Division to certify president/VP candidates to counties. And that will be when the judge will be on there as
what
well.
was that?
Front page.
Oh, okay. Too many pages.
I know, I knew I saw it somewhere.
Okay. So we won't have that until September 12th.
I'm just gonna go ahead and slide the public test in there. That is Tuesday, October 1st. At 10 a.m.
So if anybody wants to come to the public test, be sure to mark it down October 1st at 10 a.m.
And we welcome people to come, because if nobody comes, we have to vote. Every machine, every precinct on every machine has to have at least one vote. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And every voter has to,
Have a
so we
vote,
make sure
yeah.
that every name is counted.
So if it's just us three, it takes a good couple hours. So anybody wants to come, welcome you, please.
Confirm that date and time again, I'm sorry.
October 1st at 10 o'clock. And I'll schedule it for in here, so.
All right,
Worst case scenario, if it's already booked for in here, I'll see if I can get one courtrooms. What day is off? I'm sure it's not a Wednesday.
Tuesday.
Should be able to get one of the courtrooms, worst case scenario.
okay. All right, the new election law effective July 1st of 2024. Previously, a county election board was required to adopt a uniform, non-discriminatory policy permitting access to the full countywide registration list. Now, state law has added to that policy all records in SBRS, including election administrative records and ABS activity reports. This policy does not apply to individual VR records or other reports required by law to be provided. So we need to make sure there is a policy that provides this information to those that request it, which is for the political parties. It was to what currently the procedure
I have it.
for obtaining that registration list. All right, a person who requests computerized voter registration information under Section C must provide a written statement that the person will not use the information to solicit merchandise, goods, services, and subscriptions, or sell, loan, give away, or otherwise deliver the information obtained by request to any other person for the purpose other than political activities or political fundraising activities. So they can request a copy of this. There is a form that is signed, and this form does state that, okay, you've got it there, I'm sorry. That you're requesting a copy of this voter list. You have to check, are you a member of the Central Committee of a major political party, an organization of a bona fide political party that is not a major political party? This party has at least 2 candidates on the ballot for the next election. A committee of an independent candidate for federal state office. This candidate is on the ballot for the next election. That you are a news media or will use this data for news broadcasting, publishing, and otherwise in compliance with IC 37276D, or you can check other. But you sign this to say, I will not use this data to solicit merchandise, goods, services, subscription for the purpose other than political activities or fundraising activities, which is what I read here. You're not going to sell, loan, or otherwise deliver to any other person for the purpose of other than political activities. And they have to sign this to verify that they will follow this.
I want to add to that. It come to my attention several different times at this last election that I was handing out a report that showed exactly what ballot people pulled. Do I have access to a report like that in our statewide voter registration system? Yes, I do. But the report that I print out for anybody who would request it does not show that. So no one is getting that information from me. It is public record, but I don't provide it if it's not specifically requested. If it is specifically requested, yes, I have to give that out, but it never has been. So I know I was thrown under the bus several times, but that information did not come from me. It shows your name. It shows how you voted in the sense of, did you come here early vote or did you vote by mail? That is all that report shows, just to make that clear.
It also says that you will not give to any other person. I know for a fact someone called me complaining about someone else and how they voted. And I said, where did you get that information? Oh, so-and-so gave it to me. Really? So-and-so, you signed a paper that you would not distribute. That's gonna stop. We're not giving, and we're not using it for harassment. Just because you have that list, you don't call somebody and chew them out, jump on them, get on their frame. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. You're not calling anybody, you are not supposed to call anybody and chew them out for how they voted. That is their American right. To
And
vote how they want.
if you do that, you're committing a Class A misdemeanor. Says it on this form that you would sign.
So this, you are entitled to get the list, and you can say, well, it's political purposes. Well, I'm sorry, when you call me and complain to me about somebody and you're running them in the ground, and then you say you got that list from so-and-so, that is not what it is for. Please, I just, there's just some of this stuff that should not be, it should not be. Okay? All right, we went over the public test.
Poll workers, have you guys got started?
Yeah.
Okay. As soon as you get them, give me that list, and I can go ahead and, sooner I get them into SBRS, the better.
I've had people coming to me saying they wanted to work. Or you got me down, I'm gonna work.
Oh, that's another thing. Okay, so I think there's a thing where you can go online and you can show your interest in a poll worker, and I automatically get that email. That's something I want to ask you guys. Do you want me to call them, ask them, because it doesn't say on there what party they want to work for, so I kind of have to know. Do you want me to personally call them? I've gotten one so far, but they're going to start trickling in little by little. I can
Somebody's
call them.
called you?
Well, it's an email. They sign up online to be a poll worker or something, and that is generated an email to me. It just says their name, their phone number, and that they wish to be a poll worker. That's all it says. So that I have to know what party, so I know which one to send it to. So do you want me to call them?
I have no problem with you calling them, because that makes it easier, because if one of us calls and they want the other party, then it's
Okay.
kind of embarrassing.
Then my next question, do you want me to give them your number, them reach out to you, or you reach out to them? I can just find out what party and give them your number.
Well, let us reach out to them,
That's
because
what I
I try to stay with the same workers
Right.
every year. And then if I run short, yes, I
Then
do
we-
welcome new ones, but I try to stay with the same.
I would like for you to give the information to me and let me call them.
Yep.
For the simple fact that, it just would be easier, I think.
And I've had one person come to me, they no longer wish to ever be a poll worker ever again.
Yes.
So I need to let you know who that is, so you
That
know.
was about 2 days after election.
Okay, so you know who it is?
Mhm.
Okay, I just want to make sure you knew, so you took them off
I
the
was,
list.
we were out here. We were here. It was the
I
day,
don't remember.
it was the day that we did, the provisional and.
Oh, that's
certified
right, that's right,
Election.
that's right.
Yes, she came in.
Okay, never mind that.
Said she had never worked before, but she definitely did not want to work anymore.
Oh, no,
This
theirs was another one then,
Um,
because she said she's worked for polls for 20 years and she's never worked in one again after.
Oh, well, okay.
Okay, I got that name over there.
yes, please let me have it,
Remind me-
because I know one other individual told me that they would never work again.
Remind me, what day, okay, September 9th, is training for ABS, for absentee board, right? Monday, September 9th, 9:30,
Okay.
What now?
September 9th. We have we'll make sure nothing's changed, but we have an election board meeting
Yes.
at 8:30.
And
And
absentee
then-
training after that election.
Okay. Are we doing travel board after that? We're waiting closer to time for travel board, aren't we?
I thought
So,
we were doing
we
them at
have
the same
travel,
time.
we have travel board the same time as we do the
They just come at the
early
same
voting.
time. Okay.
What date?
September 9th.
Okay. And the election board meeting will be at 8:30, and then there's usually, 9:30 or so?
Yeah. It's
Early
Monday.
voting and the travel. I imagine that travel board will be busy this year.
Yeah.
I've already had people call and say, how soon can I call and get the travel board? Go ahead, call. I'll get you on the list.
We've had, I meant to ask Becca how many applications we've had so far, but by mail. I think we were around the 30 or 40 mark already. I feel like, don't hold me to that, but
For absentee.
yes, by mail.
College kids, I hope.
I don't have anything else.
All right. I want to address a situation and, the wording in the Indiana code is sometimes difficult to understand, and we've already talked about that some this morning. And this is one reason why we have the Indiana Election Board, to interpret the laws given in the light of other laws, because they know more of the laws that have been on the books for years that affect the new laws, and they use this in interpreting this. They are knowledgeable and capable people. And on May 7th, there was a disturbance. Most people are familiar with this, and a decision was made regarding IC code 31019 and IC code 310.110. The decision was given by Angie Nesmeyer of the Indiana Election Board, and that decision was that a challenger and a voter, when they're challenging on party affiliation, had to be from the same precinct to be a valid challenge. So the challenge was made, and at that time, the decision was made that the challenge was moot and void because the challenger and the voter were not from the same precinct. At that time, a person who came toward the end of the incident, and they came as a watcher, and when they were told what the decision of the Indiana Election Board was, they looked me right in the eyes and said, I don't believe her. That's not what it means. The watcher then proceeded to call Valerie Waracha of the Indiana Election Board to get another interpretation. I asked the challenger and the watcher, I asked both of them, please call me, let me know what Valerie said. Neither one of those individuals ever called or contacted me in any way to update me on the decision Valerie rendered. Therefore, I called Valerie myself. She gave the exact same interpretation that Angie did. Both the challenger and the voter had to be from the same precinct. IC code 31019 and 310.110 regarding challengers has been put in the Perry County News. It's been on Eyewitness News. It's been in an Indianapolis newspaper and all over Facebook. And in all the publicity, the decision of the Indiana Election Board with regard to these codes has been continually omitted, overlooked, and blatantly ignored. The misrepresentation has been made without one single word, without the slightest indication, and absolutely without any hint of correction to this incomplete information which has been distributed. As a result, the Perry County Board has been criticized, put down, name-called, degraded from numerous sources. Another law hard to understand is IC Code 36841 regarding watchers. The watcher's entitled to do the following: enter the polls at least 30 minutes before the opening of the polls and remain there throughout election day until all tabulations have been completed. The Indiana Election Handbook states on page 3, watchers with proper credentials are allowed to enter, remain, and leave and re-enter the polling places as early as 5:30 a.m. and remain until the counting of the vote at the precinct is completed. The Indiana Election Administrator's Manual on page 221 reads, the party watcher is entitled to entering the polling place 30 minutes before and remain there until all votes have been tabulated. Now, Rachel just read these codes. She read even where, when it uses polls, it refers to the machines in that room and that building. Well, at the last Perry County Election Board meeting, I read these codes. I read them for everyone. From the wording, all indications are that watchers were to remain at the polling place and not go place to place. However, the Indiana Election Division has determined using IC code 11413 as a basis for, and the code is this: words importing the singular number only may be also applied to the plural of persons and things. Because of this code, when the word poll is used, it can mean polls. So according to the Indiana Election Board, they interpret this to mean that a watcher can go to numerous polls. If this is what the election board determines, we, the Perry County Election Board, will abide by it. We will respect and honor their interpretation because they are the authoritative voice for elections in the state of Indiana. However, Kelly Harding, the watcher on May 7th, who to this day does not believe the Indiana Election Board has the ability to make the correct decision on IC 31019, believes they are perfect in making the right decision, IC 386841. And she has become unrelenting in her demand that we correct our error. I have a statement to make. Kelly, we will correct our errors. We will acknowledge and make right our mistakes. But I'm asking you to do the same thing with the misrepresentation that you have put out there. Will you display the same courage and correct yours? You demand. Now, I know you used the word request, but it was not a request. It was a demand, and 4 times demanded that we make the corrections publicly. And you even cited how many people viewed our election board meeting. Let me ask, how many people saw on Facebook, in the newspaper, and everywhere else, and they viewed the incomplete information? Either you distributed or you sanctioned the distribution thereof. Don't accuse us of causing chaos and unnecessary confusion. I'm going to stand with the Indiana State Election Board, even if it disagrees with what I see. I will, as been stated before, I will ask the legislatures, will you please clarify this? We don't need people nitpicking, complaining whether it's poll or polls, or whether it's a sign or a point. If you demand the correction out of us, then be honest enough to do it yourself. I'm sorry, but this is an issue that it needs to stop. It needs to stop. There's no sense in it. If you want to point out that I have said something wrong, I will be more than glad to correct myself. We all will, yes. But have that same courage yourself to anybody. To anybody that's out there spewing or putting all this out there, running us in the ground, we're no good, and we need hung, and we need thrown out, and we need all this. No. Because, it just needs to stop. Our next meeting, as already stated, September 9th, 8:30 a.m. And don't forget the public test on 10/1/24 at 10 a.m. All right? I think that's, I think I've got enough. All righty. Then I'll make a motion to dismiss.
Not yet.
Sorry.
Forgot that part.
I'll make a motion to dismiss.
A second.
Thank you very much for coming.
Hope we know a little better.